We zoom. Oh, hello, welcome to Wumbas in the Wild, episode 3, hopefully. I am, as always, one of the people, and here I have the other person. Say hello, other person.
Hello, other person.
Well, so I think we're going to jump straight into a topic. I think because you want to talk about the Disney previews, I guess, announcements, because I've not heard anything about it. So just hit me with what's coming out.
So basically, what we're talking about today, Eduardo, is what was known as the Disney Investors Day, in which
Is that like the shareholders meeting?
sort of, yeah, I guess so, and it was broadcast live, and it's basically letting everyone know their plans of projects that are upcoming.
What franchises are going to ruin in the near future.
Exactly, and so I've had a scan through. I've had a look at some of the trailers, and
Okay.
I thought I'd sort of give you some of the news and the little snippets of information we have, and we'll discuss our thoughts.
Good.
So the first bit I have here is about the upcoming Hawkeye show.
Hawkeye?
Yes, we have the Hawkeye show coming, and it will feature Hawkeye and his sidekick, I believe.
Well, I'm assuming it'd have Hawkeye in it.
Well, obviously, and his sidekick, Kate Bishop, as well as their trusty sidekick, Pizza Dog, also known as Lucky, I believe.
So, are they basically going, Green Arrow did alright, let's try it?
I'm guessing so. I don't really know
I never watched
much.
Green Arrow though, so I don't know if it's shit or not, to be honest with you.
I know obviously Kate Bishop and the dog were quite a big thing in the books.
Okay, yeah.
She, I believe, takes on after Hawkeye. She's sort of like his, as well as his sidekick.
Like a mentor kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe in the comics. Yeah, we'll get into that another time.
Okay, yeah.
So it's one of those things where you need a somewhat understanding of the comics. If not, you should be alright for newcomers.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of people who watch the Marvel movies will have a basic understanding. Let's see here. Oh, there's an upcoming Percy Jackson series.
So, are they going to make it good?
Hopefully. I remember seeing the first one in cinemas, actually.
Yeah.
I thought that was all right. It was decent for the time, I think.
Yeah.
It was. I think I saw snippets of the second one, which was just.
I've seen both through, like full throughout. Liam Neeson Zeus is very underwhelming.
Wait, Liam Neeson Zeus? I thought that was.
Or is it?
That's Clash of Titans.
Oh, is it? Fuck me.
Yeah.
It's how underwhelming. I think it's a better film.
Clash of Titans.
Clash of Titans is better. I saw Clash of Titans 3D in cinema, and it was honestly one of the most dog shit 3Ds on the planet.
Did you see the sequel, Wrath of Titans?
I have seen the sequel. However, I don't want to talk about it, basically. Because Clash is alright. I like Clash.
Clash is an absolutely fantastic film.
Who plays Zeus in Percy Jackson then?
I honestly could not tell you. The one thing I mainly remember...
It'd be something like Sean Bean.
Was Sean Bean? I think he might actually be in it, I have a funny feeling. I don't know if he plays Zeus.
It's been a long time since I saw that.
I know Pierce Brosnan's in it, and he plays a centaur.
Oh, yeah.
And he's somehow in a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember watching it and thinking, how is that even physically possible? How does he get his horse body in a wheelchair?
He just kind of tucks it in.
It's one of those things that was never really explained.
He had a horse body tummy tuck.
So that's that.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
Hit me, baby.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Is a domestic abuse case in the waiting? In the making.
Let's see. We'll soon have weekly Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney animation originals.
What, like shorts?
No, proper series, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So there's 10 new Marvel series, 10 new Star Wars series, and that's just the beginning.
Whoa.
So, I believe, if we have a look here, so we've got, obviously, that's not giving me a lot of news there. Let me just go to the other one. Now, Ahsoka is getting her own series.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be done by the people that are currently doing The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay. Is it going to be Clone Wars animated, or is it going to be live action?
I believe, if I just check, I believe it is live action. After
that's going to be interesting to sort of translate a animated character into live action.
Well, she was recently in a... Spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen Mandalorian Season 2. I do apologise.
Right, shut the fuck up right now.
Because she was in an episode.
Fuck off. You've just ruined it.
Well,
cunt. Well, you can just let me dream, right?
Well,
fuck right off.
You should be reading our Discord chats anyway. It's all on there.
I haven't watched it because I got round to it. I'm watching Black Books at the moment, and that was something that I would have watched and gone, oh my god, that was amazing. But no, you have to be a cunt, don't you? Oh, spoiler alert, don't say it, Clayton. Oh, she's in Mandalorian season. I said don't fucking say it for a fucking reason.
Well, in all fairness, you've had weeks to watch it, so get over
it. Had weeks to watch it. It's not like a film, not like the fucking original Ghostbusters, where it's been out for decades and it's kind of just a given that you've seen it. Oh, it's been a couple of months. Sorry, some of us have to do shit.
Well, it's not my problem, Edward.
It's not. I literally gave you a solution to the problem by not fucking saying it.
Anyway, the point is, it will be a live action one. And I believe she is played by Rosario Dawson, if you know who she is.
I don't have a clue.
I believe she was in the Netflix series for the Marvel stuff. I believe she played the night nurse.
No, I'm drawing a blank on that.
She was also in Men in Black 2.
I mean, she played Men in Black 2?
She plays the Light of Zartha. The woman that Will Smith has a bit of a thing for.
Oh, her.
She is absolutely phenomenal, I will say. She's pretty good as the character in Mandalorian.
Well, I'm guessing that's why they're doing that's why the blokes who are doing Mandalorian are doing that, because they're kind of like, well, we got the character already sorted, so...
And they are, I believe they are heading a couple more shows, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Soon. The next bit of Star Wars news, big one, is that Hayden Christensen is returning as Darth Vader in the new Obi-Wan series.
No.
Yes.
Oh, did you see that Little Italy thing Hayden Christensen did recently? It was like a film and he put on like a really bad like Italian Brooklyn accent thing. I
can't say I have.
It's honestly so shit, but it's so good.
To be honest, he's one of those actors that you don't really see in a lot of things.
Yeah.
In fact, I haven't seen him in years. I think the only other thing I saw him besides Star Wars was Vanishing on 7th Street or something like that. It's like an old horror film.
Okay.
But I believe the show is supposed to be set about 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
What, is it on Tatooine?
I'm not too sure. They're not. From what I believe, they're not giving too much away.
I heard that they were going to film that Obi-Wan thing between London and Boston.
I think I have seen something about that. When someone
mentioned that, I was like, "Oh, they're going to Boston," and they're like, "No, as in Boston." I was like, why are they going to fucking Boston? It's a shithole. Not Boston, but Boston.
I know, I'm not too sure where Pinewood Studios is. I know it is in the UK, I believe. I know that's where they film quite a lot of the
Boston
stuff. I know they film a lot of James Bond stuff. And, Harry Potter. I think if that's even what I'm thinking of, it's probably something completely different. I don't know.
So you could be spewing absolute bollocks.
I mean, I always say to people, "Oh yeah, I'm if you want to know something about movies, I'm the go-to man." And they say, "Clayton, what do you think of this film?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
Can you say it again? Who's in it? Who's that?
So Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins is going.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I. I just know that she's a somewhat okay director from
Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was sound. So
she is directing the next Star Wars movie.
Oh, they're actually doing another Star Wars movie,
and
after the Trainwreck trilogy.
I believe this should be quite good.
Yeah,
it's called Rogue Squadron.
Okay,
and I'm assuming
as long as it's not a copy paste of the original trilogy with worse story plot points.
I believe it's from what I've seen.
Who's writing it though?
I'm not too sure who's writing it, but I do know she is directing it, and I do believe. I think it has got something to do with the Rogue Squadron that was founded by Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy with the X-Wing fighters. She did post a little video on her Twitter saying that I think her dad used to be a fighter pilot. And one thing she's always wanted to do film-wise is to sort of do something a bit like that in film. So I imagine this is going to end up being a bit like Top Gun in space, I imagine. As a fan of Top Gear.
Homo Top Gear?
It should be quite good.
Homoerotic things in Top Gun to make it work.
I have to say, after the last Star Wars film, bit hesitant, but I feel like the premise could definitely work. I think it's something that's. It's a
mean, if they do the writing right, then it can work. So it's just because it's the thing is, I think people forget is that the setting's so large that there's so many different stories. It's a big galaxy. Galaxies are fucking huge, and there's always going to be something that you won't hear about in a main film, because it's like, how can you have a setting of such grand scale and know everything about it? But that also in turn can take away from it, because the Rise of Skywalker, I can't remember the actual official fucking.
I believe it was Rise of
Skywalker.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it's the Skywalker or some bollocks like that. Problem with that was it was just they were planet hopping, and it was like, oh, let's go here, we're here, now we're here, and it's like you're just time traveling at that point.
I feel like in premise
it's
it
like,
could have worked.
In films where a character goes from one place to another, and it's just like, let's just do some drive-by shots and some big wide shots, and it's a bit shit.
In a way, it's almost like they try to do like an end game kind of thing.
Oh yeah, well, bring everyone together, and it's like, it's that's one thing I didn't like about Lando's inclusion. Oh, it's Lando, know Lando, you love Lando.
I feel like they could have done, especially quite a big character like that, Lando Calrissian. I feel like they could have done it in a better way.
Magically comes, he somehow finds out where the secret route is that the main people have to fucking follow magic wizardry shite to get to, and Lando's like, don't worry, I'll just bring all these fucking ships with me with no direction, because we can't fucking get in touch with this because we're outside the fucking galaxy. And first of all, how did Palpatine be able to build fucking Death Star fucking ships in the middle of nowhere with like 5 people?
Oh, see. Got unlimited power, as we all know.
He didn't say it in the film, it doesn't count, and you know that is a sore spot for me, because he's coming out lightning like Zeus on fucking Viagra.
Second mention of Zeus this podcast.
It's because I'm listening to Greek stuff.
This is the point where we mention we're sponsored by Zeus this week. One thing I will say about Rise of Skywalker is about the Lando point. When we see Ben flying to that planet at the beginning, Kylo Ren, and he's
also
doing
fuck the Force powers,
and he's doing all this like zigzagging and all these like fucking. How the fuck do they get those massive ships to bob and weave like that, or do they find an alternative route?
Don't know.
Because I thought the whole
Ben. To be fair, Ben might be doing a Han Solo. Because like the whole like 15 parsecs thing is just him, like in the Millennium Falcon was just him taking a shortcut, wasn't it? Because parsecs is a measure of distance. So do you think Ben took the same approach and went, you know what, I'm going to
Well, I don't know, because from what I understood when I saw it was that the holocron showed him the direct route to the planet.
Yeah, it might be the direct route, but it might be, bypass.
Films, I guess. It's just film logic.
But guess what? Rise of Skywalker doesn't make any sense. And the fact that she called herself a Skywalker at the end can fuck right off. Right, I have problems with The Last Jedi as a film. It's weak. But Rise of Skywalker takes the fucking biscuit on shite.
What I will say about Last Jedi, I'm not a big fan, but I think it works more than Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, 100%.
In a couple of rewatches,
the whole Rose thing, fuck off.
I could do without that, but apart from that, I think the storyline is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good
The retconning
story.
of Lightspeed annoyed me a bit.
Yeah.
The Leia
shit.
they should have just left it as it is.
The Leia Mary Poppins
However,
stuff.
I will say, not necessarily the story implications of Luke force projecting himself across the galaxy, but the way that scene is shot is fucking amazing, in my opinion.
That is an absolute
it's a
brilliant
banger
shot.
of a scene, but in the context of the film, it kind of takes away from Luke, because it kind of just gives him a get out of jail into Ghost Town card, and I feel like it's not a significant sacrifice like with Ben Kenobi, where he's stopping Darth Vader and then just goes psych ghost. But it's just like, I'm going to force project myself and then fight you, blah de blah. I do feel like they ruined Luke as a character in the sequel trilogy, in my opinion.
It's, to be honest, I actually feel the kind of same way about Han Solo. I think.
Oh yeah,
Harrison Ford
didn't want to be there, though. I'm pretty sure.
I believe he said in the second one, the original second one, that he didn't want to come back.
Yeah,
he basically wanted his character to die off, but they ended up bringing him back anyway. I think my biggest issue with it is, obviously in the first one you see him, he's a smuggler, don't really give a shit. He sees fucking Princess Leia, he's like, oh, hello there, and then he fucks off at the end. But then he ends up coming back and saving the day, and then obviously everything happens and whatnot, and he sort of becomes, a friend of the Republic.
Yeah.
Ends up becoming one of their supporters.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the start, I think it's at the start of Empire, when he's still trying to get away because he just wants to do his own thing.
But then he's like, oh, give me that poontang.
Yeah, and then I think Leia sort of pulls him back in, and then he's got really no choice, because obviously the Empire comes and destroys Hoth, which coincidentally is gold. And then by the end of the last one, he's gone through this real big transformation from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi, and he's branded a war hero, and he's got all these medals, he's branded a hero, and then by the time we see him in Force Awakens, he's nothing but a fucking homeless bum, essentially.
They basically reset his character arc of the first three films,
and it feels really dissatisfying. It feels really unfortunate.
It's like, oh, it's him and Chewie, little rogues. And it's like, well, yeah, mate, he might just be going through fucking... The divorce might just be fucking with him, you don't know.
Yeah, it's just... It was a sad ending.
It just felt a bit cheap, where it's kind of like, oh, he's back to his old ways. Like, oh, silly Billy. Haha. Can't take the rogue out of the rogue.
That's very true.
I will say, I've just thought of something, right? With Darth Vader, Hayden Christensen... Do you think he doesn't like Sanders Darth Vader because it gets in all the machinery?
That's probably a strong possibility.
Because it's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere, but that's going to fuck with his joints.
I mean, I like going to the beach, but I must admit...
I bet he's like, oh, the respirator's fucked again. I told you, I can't do sand.
Oh, could you imagine like coughing up sand? Oh man!
If you have had a mouthful of sand,
it's not pleasant.
It's a fucking disgusting experience.
And you don't know what's in that sand either.
No, it's like shells and rocks and dog shit.
Jar piss,
Jar piss, yeah.
Jar Jar Binks piss.
Your dad's cum.
That's very true. My dad's cum gets everywhere. Hence why I'm here. Anyway, before we get too much off topic. Back to Star Wars. So we also... There's a lot more different
Do you think
shows.
Disney will commission Star Wars porn parodies when they see how much money they can make with it?
Yes. I hope they do.
Yeah.
That's something I would like to see. I've seen many spoof
I bet you have.
and parody, and I must admit...
You horny bastard.
It's pretty interesting. The storylines are phenomenal.
Oh, are they?
Absolutely brilliant.
Did you ever see that one? I think Brazzers did it, and it was like a Bane family.
What?
And it's like this mum and the dad, and they're both wearing masks. And like son is like, oh, you don't know how it is until you wear the mask. And then like the guy, the son finally wears the mask, and he like starts like fucking a woman, and he's like, I will fuck you now. I can't remember. It was a long time ago I saw about it, but yeah, that was like the general.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'll have to show you it sometime. It's fucking great.
Man.
It's like it's one of them ones that you just can't like think they do, but they did.
Jesus Christ. So anyway,
yeah.
A lot more Star Wars shows coming. We have one based on Cassian Andor, who was a character in Rogue One.
Yeah.
I believe he's the mustache man, as I like to call him.
Yeah.
I always get him confused with, is it Pedro Pascal, who currently plays Mandalorian, who I think was also in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Gets his head crushed.
I think so, yeah.
I get them two confused, because they are very similar.
I did like his character in Game of Thrones, though. He was good. We could talk about Game of Thrones another time. So I have a lot of opinions on that.
That ending. Oh my god!
Yeah. Let's
we'll
save
save that for another time. So a few more live action ones. There's one called Rangers of the New Republic, which I believe is a new series from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, set during the timeline of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
And they are also, the duo will also create a series focusing on Jedi Ahsoka Tano, which obviously will be live action. So that should be quite interesting. What did you think to the first season of Mandalorian?
I watched the first 3 episodes. They were good, but you wouldn't see me fucking snorting a cocaine off a hooker's tit because I thought it was that good.
It gets better.
Okay.
Second season's
I mean, the whole Baby Yoda thing, I didn't really give a shit, because it was just like, they just made it to sell toys. Yeah,
I can see that. That's why I fucking despise the Ewoks and the fucking Porgs.
Yeah.
In The Last Jedi.
Jar Jar
Binks. Fucking abysmal.
I admit it's good, but it wasn't like fucking just out of this world good. Like, we could talk about expectations and stuff from media in a bit, because I've got some good points to bring up, so we can move on to that a bit. But so I'm gonna watch it. I just have to be asked to watch it.
It is good, I will say. It's alright. It gets season 2 is a lot better now. The storylines developed a lot more.
Now it's all been
action sequences as well are just
I think there was
brilliant.
something about like some woman on Twitter was moaning about the breastplate on one of the female Mandalorians, and it was like, my dude, she has tits, and the actress that played her was like very nice, but beside the point. But yeah, so they were like, oh yeah, you've got to give women bigger breastplates or something because you're misogynistic. And I'm like, it's like, no, she literally just has tits.
Well, yeah, you can't give her a flat breastplate. You just want to look right. You know what I mean? She's got to protect those, baby feeders.
She's got extra space.
Yeah.
So
extra storage space for when she's carrying over the limit, when she's travelling against, I don't know that from like Skyrim and shit. It allows me to not run. You can't run, you're carrying too much stuff.
I thought you were on about fucking having like milk in her breast so she can't get on planes or something.
Maybe that's why she can only fly via jetpack.
It's like, if you got 100 mils.
Yeah.
Let me just weigh it.
Yeah. She's not allowed on the Razor Crest because she's above the limit of fluids.
Yeah, she's like, go have a clear plastic bag. I'm sorry, mate.
I would actually like to see a scene where all the female characters are just like off on the side, just like squirted into a fucking bucket just before they get. That's
right.
Before we get too off topic again.
Shut the fuck up. This is a reputable reputable source of information.
You know, just the sort of thing you see in like a scary movie film. You know, just be quite interesting.
It reminds me of is it like lesbian teen vampire killers or like
lesbian vampire hunters?
Yeah, that one,
oh man, that is a banging film.
It's like one of the only things I can stand James Corden in.
I despise James Corden.
I don't like it.
But I will happily watch that film.
He's a fucking sellout. Fuck you, James Corden.
Fuck you, James Corden.
You're alright in Gavin and Stacey, and this is how you treat us, even though Bryn is the best character in Gavin and Stacey.
Hands down.
The
best. So next up, speaking of Lando earlier, he's getting a live action series, I believe. I haven't heard on whether or not it'll be Donald Glover or if it'll be the other guy, Billy D. Williams, I believe it is.
I don't want to be the
I
old
can't
guy.
remember.
Like, no one gives a shit about old Lando.
I know there was talk after Rise of Skywalker where people are like, oh, they're going to make a series or film with him and that girl that he was talking to at the end and it's going to be his daughter. And I was like, no, fuck off. Don't ruin Lando for me, because he's an alright character. I don't need none of that shit. None of this. Let's find out who her parents are now.
I will say the Solo film isn't great, but I'll watch it over Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and Rogue One is probably one of the best. Is probably the best of the new Star Wars films. Force Awakens is good, but it's kind of just like a beat for beat of Last Hope.
Yeah, Rogue One is a brilliant film. I quite like the ending of that.
It's its own. Obviously, it kind of is just made to put together to basically fill a plot hole, but at least it kind of does its own thing, and it kind of has that hopeless ending where it's kind of like you follow these characters and all that. And I am annoyed that the monk guy wasn't a Jedi. Like, he didn't have a lightsaber. That made me sad.
That was unfortunate.
He should have had like a fucking laser stave or something.
I think he should be given a spin-off show
give
at
the
least.
dead monk a spin-off.
Him and his gun-toting partner, I think they were quite good.
Yeah.
I believe there's also another series called The Acolyte, which is supposed to be a mystery thriller in the last days of a new era, the High Republic.
Wow.
So
I tell you, I would like to see some more like Old Republic stuff.
I know,
because Knights of the Old Republic and all that is like, it's the good shit. Like KOTOR 2.
Sure, I have heard at some point they are looking at doing an Old Republic kind of thing. They used to have
lightsabers with cables, my G.
I know, proper old shit, and it's something that I don't think we've seen a lot of that.
Because it's like the scale of conflict between the Sith and the Jedi in like Old Republic days. It's like it's its own fucking universe at that point. And it's just like, so like the way the Sith evolved and all these old Sith and how they worked, and you got Malak and Revan and all that, and it's like just so interesting, so good, interesting characters, obviously through the medium of games and expanded universe material. But it's kind of like a whole area that you can go into, because then it kind of sets up the universe for modern day Star Wars.
I think it would be good to see as well, sort of like how the Jedi came about, you know, how they created the Jedi Council and all that, you know, maybe even see the rise of Palpatine at some point. I think that would be quite interesting. You know, obviously the whole, maybe even actually seeing, you know, the whole Darth Plagueis tragedy shite that was mentioned.
The tragedy of Darth Plagueis.
As well as that, I believe there's also something called Visions, which is going to be an anime anthology style show.
An anime? Is it like a Netflix exclusive? Like, what the fuck's happening there?
Fuck knows what that'll
Imagine having fucking anime on Disney Plus.
Well, I think they've got like Spirited Away or something like that.
No, that's on Netflix.
Is it?
That's Studio Ghibli, yeah.
Bastards.
However, Spirited Away, slapper of a film.
I will say that as an absolute phenomenal.
It's a fucking amazing
phenomenal film.
I do like Studio Ghibli stuff, whatever you pronounce it.
As I mentioned earlier, The Bad Batch, which is the animation style of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Which will feature a hang on, here we go. For animation, Lucasfilm gave fans a better look at the Bad Batch, it showed about a group of rogue stormtroopers from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Now, I believe from the trailer that there is going to be some like Order 66 kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I think it's towards the end of the final season.
There's an episode of Clone Wars, isn't it, where it's like a squad are in like an outpost of clone troopers, and it's like one of them or two of them survive, and they're like fucking against all odds kind of thing.
I'm not gonna lie, I've only seen about, I think I'm only like halfway into season 3 at the moment, and that's the most I've ever seen.
You are giving me shit about Mandalorian, even though Clone Wars has been out for years and is fucking amazing.
Oh, I did watch the Clone Wars, but I'm rewatching
Clone Wars, like him and his fucking Savage, whatever you call him.
What was it, Savage Opress or something like that?
Yeah. That storyline with Palpatine and all that is fucking amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. It was interesting to see how he survived as well.
Yeah.
Just through the sheer will of
They brought him back
anger.
in Rebels, didn't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Like him and Obi-Wan finally... Because I think the scene goes... like, he finds Obi-Wan on Tatooine... And then, like, there's basically just, like, one stroke.
I think he did like a fucking flip over Obi-Wan or something like that.
No, it's just, like, they're, like, facing off, and then, you know, like, the classic, like, they go past each other.
That's it. It's a bit like the Kylo Ren scene, I guess, and Luke Skywalker.
And then Darth Maul's like, is he here? Like, the chosen one?
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's like, yeah, fam, I got it. And he's like, yeah.
And isn't that when he like looks over and you hear the famous Luke, and it's like,
oh my god,
Luke. So there's that, and I believe there's also something called
Very nice,
a droid story, which will focus on introduce a new droid alongside R2D2 and C3PO.
Honestly, I won't watch that just from that brief sentence.
Don't mind.
It is going to be another way of selling another fucking robot toy.
Yeah, I don't mind R2. I can get past him. You know, this little.
You know the guy who plays C3PO, like the original C3PO.
I believe so. Yeah.
He apparently is really, really cunty about how he was like, oh, I don't want other people playing C3PO because they won't get the mannerisms right, even though he's like an old fuck. And he's like, and they were filming like the original, the prequel trilogy, and he's like, just let someone else be in the fucking. He's like, no one else gets the mannerisms of C3PO. It's like, you walk like a spacker, you talk like a spacker, you're pretty much C3PO.
He walks like a knob and basically says, "I am C3PO, human cyborg relations," and basically
I speak one language all the time.
I'm taking one last look, sir, at my friends. Fuck off, C3PO.
Yeah.
Who said I was your friend?
Why'd you do an emotional scene like that and then just undo it?
What a cunt. C3PO.
What is the point of having that emotionally charged scene? Even though you think he's a twat, at least he's willing to sacrifice his fucking identity. And then they're just like, oh, never mind, we'll just bring it back. No! There is no consequences to actions in the fucking sequels.
It is fucking ridiculous.
I'm coughing because I'm angry.
Well, before we get too angry, so up next, something a little bit different. If you're into Disney classics, we're getting, I believe, live-action remakes of Peter Pan.
I don't give a shit.
Called Peter Pan and Wendy.
It's just about a paedophile in a child's body.
We're getting a Pinocchio remake, not to be confused with the Guillermo del Toro remake on Netflix. And this will star Tom Hanks as Geppetto and Alan Cumming as Honest John, and it's going to be directed by Robert Zemeckis. Alan Cumming, I believe. I have a funny feeling he's a bloke that plays Nightcrawler in X2.
Oh yeah.
I'm not too sure.
I know you're on about if it is.
Let's see what else we got. WandaVision came out of a new trailer. Yeah. Also got trailers for Loki and Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you. We can pause this and watch them, or
no,
or,
just we'll I'll watch them at a later date. But let's just
talk about
we got a lot
on
to get through. So
so they look quite interesting from the looks of things. I don't know what you know about WandaVision, but
I know I've seen like isn't it like the fucking sitcom trailer thing where it's like, oh, we're just two people.
Yeah, it looks like they're sort of stuck in some sort of reality. And it's based on sort of like sitcoms of different eras. So I think it's like I Love Lucy, and then they move on to like, you know, Full House, The Brady Bunch, that kind of stuff. Roseanne in the 90s. It looks to be that Sword is going to be introduced, which is obviously the updated version of S.H.I.E.L.D., which focuses more, I believe, on like spacey and interdimensional stuff.
Yeah, space. Sword is the space S.H.I.E.L.D.
So that should be quite interesting. There's theories poking around that Mephisto may be involved. There is a storyline, I believe, in the comics where he's basically responsible for the... don't quote me on this. I only know bits and pieces about like Wanda and that. Like, I like the X-Men comics and the Avengers comics, but I'm more of a DC kind of guy. I will say when it comes to comics. But I think he's got something to do with the birth of her children, which are, I believe, Wiccan and Speed, who end up joining the Young Avengers or New Avengers or whatever. From the looks of the few trailers we've had for WandaVision, it looks like the children may be introduced. So it could be possibly the introduction of mutants into the MCU. So that'll be interesting.
One thing, because I don't know whether I'm missing something here, but in Endgame, didn't Vision just get like Alt F4'd?
Pretty much, yeah. He was. This is the thing that's confusing a lot of people. So obviously Vision's back, but we don't know if he's actually back or if he's back as part of some sort of
spin-off prequel before it happens.
Well, I think it is set after Endgame and all that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not too sure, but I think it's sort of, you know, maybe she thinks he's there as part of this sort of like Matrix style thing.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like this.
So she's trapped in it and she imagines he's there.
Yeah, from the looks of things from the recent trailer, Sword are trying to help her. If she can hear their... It almost sounds like they're coming over an intercom,
like some fucking Truman Show kind of shit.
Yeah, it's. I think they're saying like, oh, you know, Wanda, you know, you need to let us help you. You know, we can sort you out.
I'll sort you out.
Loki is going to be interesting. Owen Wilson is going to be in Loki.
Wow.
And he's got grey hair now, and I believe a mustache as well.
Wow.
Which looks really weird. Loki, I believe, so it's going to take place after the scene in Endgame.
Yeah, where he gets
the Tesseract. It opens up, I don't know if this is how it's going to start, but the trailer sort of opens up with that scene where he disappears.
Yeah.
And then opens back up and he's in, I think it's like some sort of Mongolian desert or something like that. And then we next see him, he's being taken by the TVA, which I believe is some sort of like a time corpse kind of thing where they deal with like all the little teeny tiny timey-wimey kind of thing, sort of like the Time Lords, I guess, but they're the ones that try and fix all the irregularities in the different timelines and
so they're like
universes,
timelines, and
so they're the ones that obviously now, thanks to Tony Stark and all that, now they've created one or two separate branches. I think they're going to try and enlist the help of Loki to sort them all out, basically. Looks like it'd be quite an interesting one.
Good, interesting concept, definitely.
It ends with a scene where he's jumping out of an airplane with like a bag full of cash, and he's like, "Heimdall, brother, I hope you're ready." And as he jumps out, the Bifrost comes from the sky and catches him mid-jump.
Oh yeah,
it looks absolutely brilliant. I saw some of the comments that they were like, I wonder if that's supposed to be like some sort of DB Cooper reference, if anyone knows DB Cooper. I don't know if you're familiar with the story of DB Cooper. It's an American thing. I think he stole a load of money or something like that and disappeared. No one knows where he is, so some people think that they might introduce that and say Loki is actually... apart from that, the only other interesting thing from the trailer is a hooded figure that appears,
and bloody hoodies.
Some people think it may be Kang the Conqueror who obviously is involved in a lot of time travel and interdimensional stuff. Apart from that, the only other big suspicion is Doom.
Oh.
How much you feel about if they introduced Doom in Loki?
I wouldn't be against it.
I think it would be quite interesting
if they do it right.
Mm.
Do you know there's a thing in the comics with Doctor Doom and Luke Cage, and I think it's like Doctor Doom owes Luke Cage like $20 or something, and Luke Cage basically goes to, I can't remember what the name of the country is now, but basically goes to his palace, beats the fuck out of him.
I want to see that in a film. I'd pay for that.
It's just like, give me my money.
I would pay top dollar to see that film.
I'm pretty sure it happened. I remember seeing something about it. It made me laugh.
Yeah. So that should be interesting.
Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Next big one, obviously, is Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Don't remember too much from that one. I'm not really too fussed about Falcon Winter Soldier. I quite like their characters, but I'm not too sure about spin-off.
They're not strong enough to stand on their own 2 feet.
Yeah. From the looks of it, it looks like it could possibly be introduced in the Thunderbolts.
Not the Thunderbirds.
Not the Thunderbirds, which is, as we have mentioned, top notch,
superior film.
Baron Zemo is coming back by the looks of it. I'm not too sure really what the storyline is. They haven't given too much away, but it looks as though the government are seeking to introduce their own Captain America. Because obviously, due to the Sokovia Accords, Sam and Bucky aren't really supposed to be doing what they're doing because they're fugitives still, from what I believe. As well as that, we've got some updates on the new Nick Fury series, which is coming to Disney Plus, and it shall
imagine Samuel Jackson series on Disney.
Well, it gets interesting because it's going to be a Secret Invasion series.
Ooh.
With Ben Mendelsohn coming back as Talos, the Skrull, and it shall obviously include some sort of Skrull invasion. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any motherfuckers in that. I certainly hope so. It'd be nice if Disney finally did a proper R-rated
kiss your mother
series.
with that mouth.
As well as that, we've got Ironheart, which is going to focus on some sort of like a younger teenage. It's a teenage girl. I think she's called Riri Williams or something like that. She's a young black girl from inner city Chicago who reverse engineers Tony Stark's armor to become the protector of her neighborhood.
I think there is a character in the comics where like a girl is like super smart and she basically just becomes the new Iron Man.
I think she's and it's going to be called Ironheart. I believe that's what she goes by in the comics. I'm not too sure. Again, I'm not a big Marvel
I
guy.
feel the MCU was basically built on Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, and I feel like it'll kind of just feel a bit empty.
Yeah, I think we do need something to sort of.
You need that kind of character that can fill a void. Because obviously some films do stand on their own. Like I personally think that Thor Ragnarok's one of the best MCU films, just because even though it is like is a bit offbeat with the rest of it, and it obviously goes a bit backwards. His Thor character kind of goes a bit backwards in Infinity War, Endgame. Well, not really. More Endgame than like in between when he like gets fat and shit, and it's kind of like a bit funny, but then it kind of ruined the Thor arc for me because it was like he'd already been beaten down, and Odin died and Loki died, and he just kind of like, but he'd come back and he'd gotten the fucking axe of destiny, and he didn't go for the head, but at the same time, like, he literally did the most. Like everyone else was fucking useless.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else actually.
So how can Thor blame himself when the fact is he was a one-eyed fucking hobo in the middle of fucking space and was like, oh yes, now I can literally fight the Infinity Gauntlet one-on-one, but all he has to do is that, and he's got it. Like, how can you feel bad about losing to that kind of power? Because that is a lot easier than fucking axe chopping someone with an axe.
And in all fairness, the team on Titan, I think if it wasn't for them failing to get the gauntlet, see, I think he gets a lot of shit for that.
Yeah,
I can sort of see why, but I don't think it was entirely his fault. I feel like if they just put a bit more effort in, they could have got that fucking.
Yeah.
This is what I don't know. Why did Doctor Strange not pull the fucking decapitating arm trick that he did with
with the portal
BTEC Hulk in the beginning of the film? If he'd have done that to Thanos, we'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
There'd be no endgame. So Peter gets a lot of shit, but I'm sitting there in the cinema thinking, well, why don't he just conjure up another portal and just chop his arm off?
Yeah, true.
Simples. Fucking I should be a writer for Marvel.
No, you shouldn't.
I'd be great at it.
No, you wouldn't.
I would. I'd be great.
No, you wouldn't.
How would you feel about a War Machine series?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, we get a War Machine series called Armor Wars. Armor Wars!
It just sounds shit.
Yeah. I don't mind him as a character.
This is why I'm starting to kind of move away from... I used to be like really hyped about Marvel films, and now they're like, oh, it's just another one. It's like they just... it loses that kind of special quality when they just get shit out. Like Star Wars is now the same. It's because it's just like a cash cow now. It doesn't feel as genuine.
I think it's weird. It's almost as if DC has become the new Marvel. As we know, there's been a bit of a few flops with DC.
Yeah.
But seeing like the recent Justice League trailer, and obviously we've got the new Batman coming out, I'm a bit and ahhing about that. Mm-hmm. Obviously a new Suicide Squad.
The Snyder Cut. What is that? Is that been released yet?
It's coming out next year, I believe.
Is it next year?
Not too sure when. HBO Max only though. Well, I think we were discussing with a mutual friend that they may look at doing HBO Max worldwide or international or whatever.
Yeah. Because I feel like they could fix it if they do the CGI, better editing. Even though I'm not saying Zack Snyder is like brilliant or anything, he has done shite, but then a lot of people have.
I think going from the trailers and stuff, it looks like it's improved a hell of a lot. The design for Steppenwolf, just for one example, looks a shitloads better. And I believe it is going to be about 4 hours long, so I've heard. And it's set into, I think it's 4 individual parts, so 4 1 hour long.
However, I want to put this on record, right? We went to see Batman vs Superman midnight release, and I've never regretted. That's the only midnight release I've been to, and I regret it.
It was an okay film.
There was like 8 of us as well.
But I think I regret a lot more than just the film, as we know. That event stressed me the fuck
I said at least 5 times we should just get a taxi. But then you two were like, oh no, we can walk. And then fucking Dean's like, oh, got cramp in my leg, even though I'm the tallest one and I'm the slowest walker. Like, how can you be taller but slower?
It's weird. In theory, it should have taken us an hour and 20 minutes to get back, because that's how long it used to take me when I used to walk home from town on a night out. But for some reason, it took... I think I'm pretty sure the film ended around like 3 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we got back like around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Sun was coming up, I know that. And it was
I remember going to sleep and waking up like an hour later thinking, oh, fucking hell, it must be about 10 o'clock. And it's like 7 o'clock. I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
Saying
like,
that,
what's going on?
You had to walk further back, though, because I stayed at yours.
I believe so. I think Dean then had to essentially walk back on himself to go to where he lived. But, you know, that's Dean. We don't give a shit about Dean.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
They I can't remember if it's next year or 2022.
Is it James Gunn?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So during the production of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we will be getting Disney's first ever live action Christmas special. Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Which will be interesting.
I thought you were about to say they're going to do like a live action Groot or something, just have Vin Diesel like as a tree, like literally just like,
I mean, that'd be interesting.
Slap some leaves on him and be like, there he is.
Yeah, all I know is it's Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Not much has been given away about it. All we know is that it will be filmed and shot during the production of Volume 3.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is sort of, in the veins of the fucking Star Wars holiday special they did.
What, the fucking
many
Ewok one? That's like
I think so, yeah. And I think they got like Luke Skywalker to fucking pop in and go, "Hey guys," or
is there
sort
anything
of
about Thor? Is it Love and Thunder or something?
I haven't seen anything about Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, from what I know,
weren't they going to get Taika?
I believe
direct Star Wars films, or did that fall through?
I'm not sure if it's fell through yet, or if it's going ahead or whatnot. But I do remember. I think it's got to be a good few months.
I will say
back.
I did enjoy Jojo Rabbit.
That was a great film,
and I was surprised when it took a sinister turn at the end, didn't it?
In fact, now I think, but I'm sure he was actually supposed to be doing an Old Republic movie.
Oh wow!
Yeah, okay. From what I remember, I'd have to look at it for next week or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's something we can look at.
Cool.
Marvel's What If, which is going to be the animated series about all the different multiverse stories.
Oh, right.
So we've got I think there's going to be like a Marvel Zombies thing there.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. What if Captain America was actually Peggy Carter? That'll be interesting. And also one that looks like probably the best one of the lot that I saw from the trailer was what if Black Panther was replaced with Peter Quill, or vice versa, rather. What if instead of picking up Peter Quill, they picked up Black Panther? T'Challa, as a young kid. So I think that'll be.
Say something like, what if Black Panther was white?
well,
it turns out he's like a boy from South Africa. He's just like, get off my land.
Get off my land, you fucking prawn. That's the only accent I can do. That's from District 9. That is a great film.
Yeah,
I'm yet to see a sequel for that, which has to happen.
God, it's been out for years now, hasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's been about 10 years.
Jesus.
I think. Fantastic Four movie is coming.
Oh, for fuck's sake, again?
Yep. And I believe it's going to be done this time by John Watts, who has done the previous Spider-Man films for the MCU.
Okay, so again, someone who's not dog shit then.
Yeah, so it should be quite interesting.
So the thing I don't like about the Fantastic Four films, right, is basically just Fox going, oh shit, license is nearly run out, better get another one.
I feel like it's an interesting one. I quite liked
it's like
the original
EA with
2.
Star Wars games where they only made one to renew the license,
and then they make another one, and then they disappear for years,
and then the contract's get one out.
Yeah,
I mean, they did bring Fallen Order out, and then I heard Squadrons is good.
Yeah,
so
fantastic. I quite like the first 2 Fantastic Four films. I'm not gonna lie, they hold a bit of a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I won't revisit them, to be honest. They did Galactus dirty.
That's one of my biggest problems, was the whole fucking gas cloud Galactus. But apart from that, I think they're an okay rewatch. It's not the sort of film you'd probably recommend, but I think it's not the sort of film that you watch and really get into.
Yeah,
it's the sort of film that you just watch, if you get what I mean. You just sort of sat there,
fucking brain dead.
Yeah, you're thinking about
your bollocks,
what you're gonna have for tea the next day.
Have a wank.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
over the thing.
So it should be interesting to see what the new iteration's like. From what I understand, there's no casting news or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people are wanting Emily Blunt in it. Her husband, is it John Krasinski or something like that? I can't remember. I think he was in The Office, the US Office. Obviously, they were in The Quiet Place together, which is quite a good film.
Yeah.
But no word on whether or not they will go ahead with that.
Be interesting to see.
Pixar is going to be making a Buzz Lightyear sci-fi epic. It's essentially going to be Buzz Lightyear's adventures in Star Command. It's essentially a sort of spin-off prequel series.
So it's some kind of like schizo trip.
Sort of, yeah. It's going to be the story of what the toy is based on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And get this is the bit that
Does he get to
upset
slam
me.
some Bo Peep?
I don't think so, because I don't think she's part of the Buzz Lightyear story, unfortunately.
It's just like she's in like a magazine, he's cracking one out.
I mean, it could be.
So he's cracking one out to some sheep.
That's a bit disgusting.
So Buzz Lightyear's Welsh now.
I mean, it could be.
Do you actually know why not necessarily Wales, but why people were like associated as sheep shaggers? Is because back in ye olden days, right? When if you're trying to steal a sheep and they caught you stealing, you'd get killed. You'd be executed.
Right.
But if you said you were shagging the sheep, you'd only lose a hand.
That's fucking incredible.
So people who were caught trying to steal sheep were just like, I was fucking it.
Oh, you can fuck the sheep, but you can't fucking steal it.
Did you ever watch that Grand Tour episode where I forgot where they went? Was it like oh god, I can't remember where they went, but they had to go and take the pictures of the wildlife.
Oh yeah.
And the guy's like fucking the fucking mule or whatever.
Oh shit, yeah.
And the guy and Jeremy's like, so
I forgot all about that.
Do you all fuck it? And it's like, yes, it's the first lover.
Oh man, I completely forgot all about
It's
that.
like, do you fuck the male ones? He's like, no. It's like, oh, so the female ones are all right.
Oh man, fucking disgusting.
It's like, it's everyone's first lover, and it's like, you're fucking a donkey.
That's just fucking gross. But yeah, so get this. This is a bit that upset me a little bit.
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear will not be voiced by Tim Allen.
No.
He's going to be voiced by Chris Evans. Captain America will be Buzz Lightyear.
It's like getting Tom Cruise to voice Woody.
It is very sad, and also I from what I can tell, I don't know if it's going to have anything to do. I don't know if you ever saw the old animated series Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
No.
Back in the day, which was brilliant, which I always considered canon and part of the Buzz Lightyear history.
The Buzz Lightyear lore.
But it looks like they might undo
retcon it,
all that with this new prequel series.
Same.
Might be quite interesting. You know, it comes out 17th of June.
They've got the money in some year. So
as well as that, nothing on my phone. But we also, for the last bit of news, from what I know, is Ant-Man and the Wasp have their new title for the new film.
Is it We Made a Child and It's a Cockroach?
No, it's called Quantumania.
Say it again.
Quantumania.
Quantumania.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania or something like
that. It kind of sounds, right, like a shit panel show about science, but it's like, oh, wacky science.
It may be better than the premise they're going with, because I believe Kong the Kangaroo is going to make an appearance in this film.
Okay.
That's all I know. I think, obviously, what's his face is returning. Can't remember his name. He's gone. Paul Rudd. Oh, he's returning as Ant-Man.
Of course.
Evangeline Lilly, I think her name is the Wasp. Then, obviously, I believe Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer as the original, the OGs. And I think, I'm not too sure.
Hank and whatever his name is.
I think his name is Jonathan Majors. I'm not too sure. I think that's who's playing Kong the Conqueror, which I believe a lot of people are quite on board for.
Yeah.
He seems to be a good actor. I've never heard of him personally. don't shoot me for saying that. I don't know who that is. Don't watch a lot of stuff.
It's like just We Are Literally Stephen Toast. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Yeah, I basically watch like the same.
Who the fuck
5
is that?
shows. But yeah, that's about it for now.
Does he look like a Bruce Forsyth?
Bruce Forsyth. Tell me, Eddie, have you ever held a man by the balls?
You ever held a man by the balls, Toast? I have.
Well.
Ray bloody purchase. What if it isn't fuck my wife, Toast? That's fucking great.
Fucking Jesus.
Let us throw caution
to the wind.
Right. So now we've gotten all the fucking news out of the way. What is the best film from each Star Wars trilogy? Go.
From each?
Just do one, like, prequels, original, sequel. Just bam, bam, bam.
I'm going to say Revenge of the Sith, Empire, and Force Awakens.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. Yeah, definitely. Original trilogy best. I like the prequels more than I like the sequels, though. Even though the writing's shit, the plot points kind of carry the prequels more for me. Because even though, like, oh, I don't like sand and that kind of shit, but it's like, at least it's trying to be its own thing.
I think once you get past the whole, like, fucking Trade Federation politics bullshit and the whole midichlorians bullshit.
What are midichlorians?
Heroin. I think once you get past that,
the
storyline is really good. Seeing how Anakin goes from,
I think it's a good reflection. I think, like, politically, of how people can use a scapegoat like a war, or because it is like, this is how democracy ends, with thunderous applause or whatever. Because that's how it is a reflection of real world. Not all dictatorships and all that are violent takeovers. It's using the system. Nazi Germany used the system.
This is the thing. I think rewatching the Clone Wars, it goes to show
the Clone Wars, however, are the best prequel era media.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Even the politics stuff in
First season's a bit shaky.
Yeah, it is a bit. Well, I think once it gets to season 2, especially like the Mandalore stuff, where it gets like really political.
Or even like the Obi-Wan and I forgot what her name is. You know who I'm on about.
Yeah, is it Satine or something like that from Mandalore?
And he's just like,
he's like, yeah, boy,
just pounding it.
Bit of history there. Yeah, boy, sort of history. But I think
like Ahsoka and all that as well. And Anakin is a really, really good character in the Clone Wars. They did him a bit dirty in the films, but in Clone Wars, he is just so likable and believable, and you can see the struggles that he has.
There was an interesting point, I think it's season 2, where they return to Geonosis. And I think they're coming back from Geonosis, and there's some sort of parasite or something like that.
Oh yeah. And like everyone's like, oh, and then it's like, whoom.
Yeah. And I think Ahsoka ends up like, I can't remember I think she's getting attacked or something like that, and I think no one knows how to stop it, and I think Anakin goes to the bug guy.
Yeah, and he's like, and
he's like, I'll fucking kill you. I remember I was watching it, and as he arrives at his jail cell, the music changes, and it literally sounds like the Darth Vader theme.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then he goes in there and he's like, look, I'll fucking end you. And I was like, that's how you do the transition to. That's him starting to get like proper. He's
trying to do the right thing and protect who he loves.
Yeah, but doing it in the wrong way and going into the dark side. Whereas
also, I do like they expanded on Dooku's character, which was good. I like that. But Obi-Wan is always like a favourite of mine. So I think this will smoothly transition into our weekly question of, now that we remember to do it, is Obi-Wan Kenobi a Chumba or a Wumba, and which era of Kenobi is the most Chumba-Wumba?
I was thinking about this in the week, actually. I was actually going to bring up Obi-Wan in Chumbawamba this week.
So
and
I think we need to get a jingle for it or something.
I think we do need a jingle.
So like Chumba, Chumba, Chumbawamba, Chumba, Chumba, Chumbawamba.
I believe he is both. Obi-Wan Kenobi is Chumbawamba.
But
now,
do you think that like Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan's Chumbawamba, or is Ewan McGregor, or is Clone Wars,
or
prequel? It's like there's many iterations. There's even a Rebels Obi-Wan. Really.
That's very true. I'm going to count the Rebels one as the Alec Guinness one because I don't think we see much of him from what I remember.
Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan, he's more of a chumba to me because he's kind of like a crazy little bit of a crazy old man.
Yeah, he's
like
a bit
of
a
little bit like, well, hey, little droidy here, but then he's also a bit like, use the Force, Luke.
Use the Force,
I've run out of lubricants.
I was just thinking that. Oh my god.
Oh, man. Classic Frankie Boyle line, that, innit?
Oh, I fucking love Frankie Boyle.
Frodo, you're hurting me when I
said destroy the ring! Oh, Jesus.
Fucking hell. But yeah, so... Yeah, but, like, prequel, including Clone Wars, Obi-Wan... Chumbawamba through and through.
Chumbawamba.
Such a sassy bastard.
He is absolutely brilliant. The meme material you can get from just one man is just phenomenal. I didn't even realise that Hello There was a callback until I was watching the Clone Wars. No. Well, forgot that it was.
Oh, okay.
From when I previously watched Clone Wars many years ago when it originally aired. There's only when I was rewatching it and fucking General Grievous comes down and it's like, hello there! And then all of a sudden I'm like, hello there. I was like, oh my god, that's what Obi-Wan says.
On about callbacks, right? So I don't remember if it was the last episode or the episode before when I was talking about Hot Fuzz.
Oh yeah.
I rewatched it the next day. Still fucking love it.
It is a great film.
No luck catching them swans then.
It's just one swan actually.
No luck catching them killers then. It's
just one killer actually. Leslie Taylor was fucking murdered.
Well, who killed her?
Oh dear. And the winner
she sleeps in the shears. What are you going to do? Arrest the whole village? Not exactly.
Oh man, fucking hell. Proper action and shit. Police work isn't proper action and shit. Oh, now, actually, speaking of which, right, Ashton does my brother Ashton. He does criminology in sixth form.
Oh yeah.
They were actually speaking to a police officer a few weeks ago.
Where they're like, no luck catching them killers then.
And I said to him, I said, did you ask the one question you should have asked? He was like, what's that? I said, did you ask, is there a point in a man's head where if you shoot it, it blows up? And he was like, no, but I did think about it when we came out, and everyone looked at me like, what the fuck are you on about?
The greater are good.
The greater are good.
Oh, it's just such a... Hello, Nicholas, how's the hand? Still a bit stiff. Oh, right, if you are listening to this and have not watched Hot Fuzz, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, directed by Edgar Wright, it is my commandment to you all that you shall go and watch it. If you don't like it, fair enough, each their own, but I feel like it's just so well done in what it's meant to be that I think you can have criticisms of it, but I think objectively you can't say this is done badly. Oh, it's just where he's like, why is he wearing a hat then? Because he's fuck ugly. Yeah, but why do you think he wants to hide his face? Because he's fuck ugly.
Do you know a really interesting fact about Hot Fuzz?
What?
The reason you see Nicholas Angel doing all that paperwork all the time is because a lot of police officers in real life don't like the way their work is portrayed in media. They don't like the fact that whenever you see it in the media, there's no paperwork done.
My pen's run out. No worries.
Yeah. Fucking pours out too. It's like, that's proper police work. None of this proper action and shit. It's paperwork and shit. That's what it is.
When's your birthday? Was it 25th of February? What year?
Every year.
Get out.
Birthday. Get out.
Oh, it's. I think the most quoted line I have, because my mum likes wine, and it's like, oh, can you get us some wine? I'm like, well, we got red or white. Put down she was 55. I'm actually 53.
53. We suppose you're wondering why we call them the Andes. They're both called Andy. Blimey, they said you were good.
Or it's it's an uphill struggle talking to him. Oh, fuck off! It's Olivia Colman, isn't it? It's just like she's like an Oscar actor. He's like, oh, you don't mind having a little bit of manpower, do you, Doris?
Nothing like a bit of girl on girl.
Oh, it's fucking great.
And of course, the real problem with them crusty jugglers.
He said it was getting in his view.
Oh dear.
What do you want from the shop, Cornetto?
Great big bushy beard.
It's fucking good. I fucking love it so much. Leslie Tiller was fucking murdered. We fucking murdered her then. The Swan. I feel like we could just have a whole fucking podcast about Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
we should.
I feel like if we ever do a watch through, I think Hot Fuzz is going to be the first one that we'll have to do.
I think so. I think maybe even the whole trilogy, to be fair. I think if we start with Hot Fuzz into Shaun of the Dead.
Who has guns? Everyone. Who else? Farmers.
Farmers' mums.
Farmers. Just like, Mum!
You've got a mustache. I know.
Oh, I fucking love it so much. Hot Fuzz, I think, just got Chumbawamba status. Didn't even have to be a specific person. Just the film is.
I think it is
Chumbawamba status.
It's top tier Chumbawamba. It's just brilliant. Classic.
Anyway, somehow I feel like it's just going to become the fucking Hot Fuzz Deep Throat Association at this point.
Yeah, boy.
Like, oh yeah. He's a doctor. He can deal with it.
Fuck off, grasshopper.
Somebody call the police. Freeze. You shot a gun thrown through the air. You shot two guns while thrown through the air.
Oh dear.
It's
alright, Andy. It's just bolognese.
It's the bit where the guys are throwing the knives and somehow, just by hitting the counter, it just deals with the problem.
Oh man, Jesus. It's like, I can't remember what line it is, but it's
or it's just like, playtime's over.
Playtime's over.
And it's just like, he's in the fridge, and it's like, did you say cool off? Like, no. It's like,
shame.
It's like, but I did give him the cuddly monkey. Say playtime's over, and then I hit with a peace lily. You're off the fucking
chain.
Yeah, it's like just chain or something, isn't it? Yeah.
There's a bit in the special features. So I think they did it with Shaun of the Dead, where they replace every fuck with funk. Oh, and in the special scenes, there's a redo of the scene, and he's like, "You're off the funkin' chain." It's just absolutely brilliant. It is fantastic. It's when you know you can just do that with like one word, and everyone just absolutely loves it. It's just brilliant.
The funkin' chain, funk soul brother, check it out now. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Wumbas in the Wild. It's been a bit more of a
mammoth episode,
mammoth information dump, but I feel like it's probably just some good conversation in there. Have we got thought of a good name out of that?
I don't really know, actually. I don't really know what we can come up with. Shit, I don't know.
Bit of girl on girl.
Nothing like a bit of girl on girl.
Just get it right. Do the lovely bubbly porridge again by having the thing that we're referencing right at the end. We've got this shit down, boy.
Yeah, boy. You have to listen to the whole way through for the title.
Thank you for listening on YouTube, because I am too lazy to upload it to anywhere else, and you're not getting a video, and you're not getting any better resolution, because that picture is perfect.
That's the whole point of the podcast.
That is the whole point. We are meant to be as BTEC as fuck.
Yeah.
Apologies if you hear Clayton breathing through his nose again.
I do apologise. I was going to suggest that at the beginning, actually. I do apologise. I have bad nasal problems. I have to sleep with a mask, and my nose is blocked 99% of the year. I was born in the dark.
So we are getting a stand sorted for him, and then fingers crossed we can improve the audio quality.
If you do like it, however, please get in touch, and I will do an entire episode on ASMR of me breathing into your ear like your sexual lover.
I mean, this preamp has 2 ports, so it can actually support like the eerie, like 2 ear thing ASMR, so you can actually do left and right.
I think we should both do it. We should pretend that the listener is in the middle of a three-way.
No, all we do is we do my bad accent impressions of Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
And then just do conversations like that, but just like my shit accent.
We'll do your shit Hot Fuzz accents and my shit Matt Berry impressions.
Oh yeah,
and just do an entire podcast on that.
That's like the fucking dynamic duo of dog shit. I thing is, you can't really put shit in a YouTube title, otherwise that would feel that.
Not without putting all the fucking stars and fucking whatever in it. Bastards.
How about dynamic dogging?
Dynamic dogging.
Eat out to help out, boys. Get your local dogging rings involved. Oh, that is like one of the 3 tweets I've ever tweeted, and it's just like, does my local dogging ring support the Eat Out to Help Out scheme?
The fact that you got a reply.
Oh no, yeah. One of the things that liked it was like fucking a swingers page, wasn't it? Oh man, that's fucking great. That was top tier comedy.
I think we should follow that page.
No.
We should I think we need to create a Wumbas in the Wild Twitter.
Probably.
And we need to just follow random people.
Just fucking
Fucking yes, sir.
We'll just follow all the fucking e-girls we can find with massive tits. Like, there are a couple.
I mean, I do that on my public one anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of One with the Wild. It's a bit longer, this one. So we got there. And hopefully tune in next week. Hopefully we'll be doing a bit more interesting things over the Christmas period. And we'll get podcasts of the year.
Yeah, boy.
And we'll be doing that by sending hitmen to every other podcast.
Let's do it,
yeah. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.
Aye, thank you very much. Shoo waddy waddy.